There's a moment in your life when you watch someone you love crumble and you feel your own hands tremble, not knowing whether to hold on or let go. You see the cracks in their smile, the hesitations in their voice, the exhaustion that settles into their eyes, and it pulls something raw from inside you. In that silence, in that pause, you realize that loving them is not just an act of care. It is a mirror reflecting both your deepest compassion and your unspoken fears. They walk into a room, but their energy is fractured, scattered like pieces of a glass vase that refuses to be whole again. You notice the small gestures, the way their hands linger over objects, the way their words trail off into empty spaces. And it pierces you because you see them trying, fighting, breathing through a weight you cannot remove. The internal response is immediate, a tightness in your chest, a constant tug of empathy, a silent insistence that you must somehow fix what is breaking. You think, if only I could speak the right words, if only I could hold them differently, if only the world were softer, gentler, slower. And yet, the harder you reach, the more fragile they seem, the more distant the fragments of their past self become. You are pulled between two currents, the desire to save them and the realization that salvation is not yours to give. Their despair touches you in ways that no external event ever could. It seeps into your own rhythm, your own sense of stability. You notice yourself pacing, replaying conversations, imagining solutions, as if mental exertion could restore emotional order. And in this layered experience, you begin to sense the psychological truth. Attachment, love, empathy, they are not purely nourishing. They carry gravity. They pull, they anchor, they demand, even when unspoken. Your mind races, trying to map the chaos of their inner world, as if understanding it could somehow ease the inevitable pain. Yet every act of understanding comes with its own cost: exhaustion, overthinking, the subtle erosion of boundaries. You start to recognize patterns. The more they withdraw, the more your brain lights up, searching for cues, interpreting silences, craving signals of safety. The more they falter, the more your own sense of responsibility amplifies. And you wonder, why does this feel like both the most sacred and the most destructive connection you've ever known? It is the paradox of human attachment. The closer you are, the more deeply their instability embeds itself into your own psyche. You feel the tug in your gut, the echo of their sorrow, the ache of helplessness, and yet there is a clarity in witnessing the fragility of another soul. You begin to notice the duality of this love. It is a force that teaches and a force that consumes. It sharpens perception and sensitivity and expands empathy beyond ordinary reach. And yet it exposes you to vulnerability in ways you never anticipated, reminding you of the limits of control. You realize, slowly, that loving someone who is falling apart requires both courage and restraint. It demands empathy without total surrender, attention without absorption, presence without ownership. And in that delicate balance, there is a lesson about human psychology. The mind can endure, the heart can stretch, but only if boundaries are honored. You begin to see that the act of loving someone in turmoil is also a reflection of your own psyche, your tolerance for discomfort, your capacity for patience, your willingness to witness suffering without collapsing into it. And in this reflection, you are confronted with a profound existential insight. Love is not always about fixing, but about accompanying without losing yourself. The eyes that wander, the hands that tremble, the smiles that falter. They are not weaknesses to be repaired, but signals of life's fragile complexity. And the hardest part is understanding that your presence matters, even when your interventions cannot heal. It is here, in the tension between influence and acceptance, that the psychology of loving someone in breakdown reveals its deepest truth. Your mind begins to appreciate the subtle cognitive patterns: attachment, mirroring, projection, emotional contagion. Your body feels the somatic echoes: tightness, release, racing heartbeats, sighs that come from a place deeper than thought. Your reflection expands to philosophical terrain: the impermanence of control, the limits of agency, the strange beauty in shared vulnerability. And in all of this, a quiet empowerment emerges. You are not powerless, but you are not omnipotent either. You learn that boundaries are a form of love, patience is a form of courage, and understanding is a form of resilience. When the chaos subsides even momentarily, you notice something essential. You are not strange for feeling overwhelmed. You are not failing for acknowledging your limits. You are simply human, navigating the complex architecture of attachment and empathy. The psychology of loving someone who is falling apart is not a formula, not a guide, not a prescription. It is a map of experience, a charting of emotional terrain, a recognition that depth of feeling comes with both illumination and risk. You begin to see that the act of love itself in its highest form requires wisdom as much as heart. And wisdom often arrives quietly, in pauses, in breath, in the small acknowledgement that being present is enough. You are allowed to care deeply and still protect yourself. You are allowed to witness suffering and still honor your own boundaries. You are allowed to love fully, even when it is messy, complicated, and uncertain. And in this understanding, you find the paradox resolved. Love is both destructive and sacred, painful and enlightening, consuming and freeing. You carry the weight, yes, but you carry it consciously, with insight, with boundaries, with clarity. And in doing so, you realize the ultimate truth. Loving someone who is falling apart does not break you unless you let it. Instead, it teaches you the architecture of your own heart.